Go to your AWS account and look for Cloudfront. Type Cloudfront, click on it. It says Global Network, Global Content Delivery Network. Here it will be asking you create a Cloudfront distribution. I'm saying yes, create a Cloudfront distribution. Origin domain. Before doing Cloudfront, let me create a bucket also, because that will be required to hold our static data. Go to S3. And create a bucket. Bucket name I am giving is test bucket in general. Asia Pacific AP South 1, which is okay. Let's create a bucket. Go to this bucket. And I'm uploading some data to that bucket. And the same files will be uploaded to GitHub. You can just upload from that link. I'm going to data, content, upfront, web code. I have 3 files, and let me show you what information I have in these files. I will show after some times. Once I go to Cloudfront distributions, it will take some time to create. At that time, I will show you what is available in these files, but it's just a plain text HTML file, nothing fancy here. Now let me go to Cloudfront and click on create distributions. Once you go to create distribution, here it will be asked you whether you want to create an origin domain as S3 or Elastic Load Balancer or media store or media package. In our case, we will work with S3. In this example, I will be covering one more example with Elastic Load Balancer also. So let's stay with Amazon S3 as of now. And what is our bucket name? Bucket name is test bucket in general. Let's look for that bucket. Test bucket in general. This one. Test bucket in general.s3.amazon.com. Origin path. I don't have any origin path. You can leave it blank. Name, if you want to change it, or I want to keep it the same name. I'm okay with that. Origin access. When I say origin access, if you say public, your website or your S3 will also be public in that case. It is saying you public bucket must allow public access. But I'm saying my bucket would remain private. I want to access the data. In that case, you need to choose legacy access identities. When I say legacy access identities, once you click on create new OAI, which we call it origin access identity, just go to AWS and check the details as of now. In bucket, as of now, if you go to permissions and check the bucket policy, it is blank. No policy, right? Once you go to Cloudfront and click on create new OAI, in that case, AWS will create one identity for you, and that identity will set in your bucket as an access. As of now, policy is blank, but I'm saying let's create new OAI with this name. Created, and here you have to select update the bucket policy so that AWS can update that bucket policy on your behalf. Instead of your copying paste the data from AWS website and creating a policy and you are doing the policy update manually, you are saying, yeah, I will update the policy. If you are saying I will update, you have to update manually. But if you're saying yes, update the bucket policy through AWS, you have to choose this option. And the same I have mentioned in my steps. I have created a bucket. I have created a distribution. I choose your bucket in domain, and origin access is legacy access identifier, and create new OAI, origin access identity. Then choose this option, yes, update the bucket policy. Now next option is add header. You can just leave this header. Default cache behavior, I want default. Complex objects automatically. When I say complex objects automatically, whatever you are storing to AWS, if you are just take example of image, you are storing the image, and when that image is coming back, you want AWS to apply compression on that. If you say yes, AWS will reduce the size, but not the quality. So just make sure quality will not be compromised, but size will be reduced, and that is better for you. And I'm saying no, yes. Compress objects automatically, yes. Viewer protocol policy, I want to choose redirect HTTP to HTTPS. Allowed get method, HTTP methods. You have to choose get head for this case. If you are working with put, post, patch, delete, which is another form of verbs, you have to choose another options. But for this example, get head is fine. Restrict viewer access, you have to enable this option as a yes if you want to give that website to certain people and you want to access that website to only certain people. In that case, you would restrict it, but I am choosing no. Let's make it open and everybody can use it. Cache keys, when I say cache keys, it is asking you caching optimized, which is recommended for S3 origins, which is recommended for S3 origins, and these are the policies. Where you can see the policies, if you just click on it, here you will see an option of caching policies. If you just open in a separate window, you will see all the policies are designed here. It is managed by AWS. This policy is created for Amplify. This is caching and disabled. And I was talking to you like what are the TTL number of time you can define. In that case, you need to go to caching optimized and see the time of it. Once I click on caching optimized, minimum TTL is 1, maximum TTL is 3153. Let me just take it and see how many time it becomes. Divide by 60, right? It is seconds. So how much seconds? I think 8760. You can just calculate. I think it will become year for you. Seconds to minute. To minute. 525 minutes. But it would, you can calculate this. It would become 1 year for you. I think by default it is 1 year or something. We can calculate this 86400 divided by 60, 1440. That means 1440 divided by 60 again. It is 24 hours, 1 day. It is 1 day, 86 400 seconds we have in 1 day. And this is maximum. You can see it, how much it becomes. I think 365 days. So I'm choosing caching optimized, and you can change that time according to your need. If you're saying I want to create my own caching policy for 1 day or 5 days or 10 days, you have the option. Go to Cloudfront, click on caching policies, cache, and create your policy. Here you can define the time, maximum TTL, minimum TTL, whatever time you define it, it will be created like the way you are defining the properties. So in my case, I'm saying caching optimized, and rest of the details I'm keeping it blank. Function association, no. Settings, yeah, this is important. It is asking you use all edge locations or North America and Europe, or North America, Europe, Asia, Middle East and Africa. So it is asking you where you would want to deploy your change in all edge locations, North America and Europe, and North America, Europe, Asia, Middle East and Africa. If you are saying my users are only belongs to North America and Europe, you would select this option. But in my case, I'm saying use all edge locations. Rest of the settings remain same. Just create a distribution. Once you create a distribution, it will take some time to reflect your changes, like 10 to 15 minutes of time. So during that time, what AWS is doing, AWS is replicating your S3 bucket changes to every possible region, every possible edge locations, I would say. So they're deploying your change so that they can serve you faster than before. So if you check the distribution, as of now it is started, but it will take some time. It is enabled, but it is deploying. So it will take 5 to 7 minutes. So in certain cases, it takes 15 minutes also, depends on AWS internals. Now you can see after taking 10 or 15 minutes, it is enabled now. You can see the last modified time is December 18 and it's showing you complete time, but this is enabled now, right? If I click on it, you can see it is enabled now. And in return, it is giving you one distribution domain name result. This is the URL I was talking about. So just copy this URL and test it. Paste. What was the content available in your S3 bucket? Index.html. I am going to text with /index.html. Right? In my PDF, I have explained you already that point. To serve files from Amazon CloudFront, you simply use the distribution domain name in place of your website domain name. The rest of the file paths stay unchanged. So let me test it now. Let me just open developer tool also. In this developer tool, let's hit now. Just clear this. Yeah, now hit it. For the first time, if you are hitting, it is giving you response in, and the document size is 422 bytes and the time taken is 135 milliseconds, and it is 722 and 224. I think there are two requests, but let me make it again. Just note at this time 422 and 7. This is size and this is a time frame. Now let me again hit it on 135 and 224. Now this time is reduced 140. Now if you keep hitting, you will see request time is going low, 35 seconds only. So that ensures you are reading the data. Now this time request is coming from edge location. You will also curious to know, because when you work with default servers like Google Chrome, anything, they also cache the data by default. If you're hitting the same page again and again, they also cache the data. But apart from this, there's no other way you can test it, but you can trust on that AWS part that it is giving you response faster than before. In first request, it was taking more than 156 millisecond, I believe, right? Now it is taking only 35 seconds of time. So see the other example also. Like in my case, I have index.html. So go with index I have already tested. So go with error.html. Error.html. This is a response 702 and 245 millisecond. If I hit it again, now it is 147. And now you will see 36. Now it will be on 36 itself or less than that. That's not a fixed figure, that because CloudFront edge location is also server for you. So that time location, or you can say networks that you are hitting that server, it is not giving a guarantee that every time response will come in 35 seconds only. It depends on your network also. Or you can also upload image, media files, whatever is possible. Like in my case, I'm saying go to S3 and upload some images. Let's say I'm taking one image, Lion HD image. So let's just take this image and save it. Lion to desktop and go to your S3 bucket, add files, desktop, lion.jpg, upload. Now if you see this file, line.jpg, replace it. For the first time, how much seconds it is taking? Milliseconds, 298. But once I open it again, it is taking 171 and then 22 only. So that object is being cached at two locations now. One is edge location and one is your browser cache is also working. So that makes your application faster than before. Now there is one problem also with the CloudFront. Like I said, you are defining the time to leave for the objects, right? So time to leave object for my case, I have defined is 30. I think by default it is 24 hours, right? I've shown you that by default it is 24 hours. But if you're changing the content on S3, that content will not be changed. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's say I'm just picking one more image and I'm saying lion to image. I'm taking this image where two lines are available in this same page. Save image as lion 2 and keeping on the desktop. Now I'm replacing the file on S3, which name is available lion.jpg. So I'm changing the name, deleting the older file from the desktop so that I can replace a name of it. Say this is lion.jpg, latest file. And now let me go to S3 bucket, upload. I'm uploading the same file again, which is lion.jpg. Upload it successfully. Hit it again. Still you are able to see older object, right? Still you are able to see older object. So how to handle these type of situations? In this type of situations, AWS gives you invalidate options also. Invalidate option means one object is stored, but I want to remove it from AWS cache. So in that case, you can call invalidation method of it, so that AWS clears the memory, clears the cache for that particular file. How you will do it? Go to CloudFront, go to your distribution. This is my distribution. Click on invalidation. In invalidation, create a invalidation and say what is the name of your file. Like in my case, the file name is lion.jpg. I'm saying lion.jpg. Create invalidation. So it is in progress. But it is in progress means AWS is replicating this change to every regional, every edge location. So this will also take time. Sometime also it will take. Once this is completed, now go and refresh the screen. You will see latest changes. Now my point is, not each and every time you will be invalidating the file. Sometime you will set it up like you will set it time to leave property, time to minimum time to leave property correctly. But if you have a scenario where you were not expecting to be a file to be changed, and but suddenly it is changing, then you will write a custom logic to invalidate a file, and that is the place where you will be keeping your invalidations. In my case, I have done the using UI, but in most of the cases, developer will write the code also to invalidate a file. That's complete my this lab.